Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. It's new releases day and I'm excited to show off the new design for my budget sheets for the month of August. I use one design for the entire month. It's something that keeps it cohesive and flowing for me, and I enjoy it that way. So I have this new header at the top, as you can see. It's sunflowers with the little pops of blue and green. So I'm going to bring it up closer to the camera so you guys can see it up close. Hopefully get plenty of light on there. And I just thought this was just so beautiful and a lot of fun and really cute to work with. So yeah, this is my new design for the month of August. I have my monthly calendar and I have all the budget sheets already up in my shop. My shop is Lisa's Faith Budget Plan and on Etsy, and you can just click in the link below in the description box or go to Etsy and just type in Lisa's Faith. Start typing LISAS and then FAITH, and you'll start seeing my personal budget sheets. And I think I changed my box logo to have the sunflowers, but in a slightly different pattern. But anyway, so I'm really excited about that. Also in my shop, I am running a continual sale. It doesn't ever go away. I update it every month, where you buy 4 budget sheets, you get 20% off. That's really helpful if you're wanting, you know what budget sheets you want, but then if there's one extra one you want to try, it's almost like getting one for free, the 5th one for free. So that's what I really like about Etsy and having coupons and sales. I can run something like that and you guys can take advantage of it. So that's really, really cool. So I'm excited about this month. I have the dated Sunday start calendar in my Etsy store. I always do the Sunday start. I don't do a Monday start, but if you want one, let me know. Just message me through Etsy and say, I'm interested in the August calendar, but I'd like a Monday start. I can easily design one and do a custom order for you. So that would be really cool. This is one listing all by itself. So I'm really excited about these listings. This is one listing by itself. You get 2 pages, one listing, low price, really easy to work with. It's a downloadable PDF. Not only do I have it in the 8.5 by 11, just regular sheet size paper, I do have it in 2 other sizes. So I'm going to kind of show you. I printed them all off. I don't know if I'm going to show them all off, but this is the classic Happy Planner size. And if you print this at 100% on your printer, it should fit a classic Happy Planner size sheet of paper. Okay, I'm back. So I have just a plain Happy Planner notes page here. And if I put it in the corners of each of these corners, it fits. And you can definitely tell that there is no see-through as far as where the these little cutouts are for the, you're not going to see it cut into the calendar here, the image. And if you flip it to the other side, I also made sure it didn't go on the other side too. You can't see it in anything on that design. So these are just guidelines. Make sure when you do print it, it's 100%, because that's how I design the sheets, PDF at 100% when I printed them, and as well as how I design them in Canva, because I designed all my budget sheets in Canva. So this is really, really cool. And you're going to see that. And then when you get the listing for the calendar, you get all 3 options. You don't have to look for 8.5 by 11. You don't have to look for the listing for the classic Happy Planner size, and you don't have to look for, I have 3 sizes available for you. You don't have to look for the A5 size. Here again, I have the A5 size, and I have paper for that as well. And actually, I'm just going to use this Erin Condren sheet. I keep the page that I'm on from the A5 planner out on my desk, and I write on it throughout the day. But if you just lay it on here, you're going to see when you do print it at 100%, it goes to all the corners, and the hole punch doesn't hit any of the design on either side. So that is really, really cool. I like that. And there we go. And here again, you don't have any design on the hole punch. So you have the A5 and the classic happy planner size. That's how I printed it for at 100% for your guidelines. Now your printer may do a little bit different. My printer actually settings are auto set to 97%. And I didn't realize that when I was designing my budget sheet, so it may print off a little bit for you. Just do a test print and see if the lines line up. If you need to, just take a A5 sheet or a classic happy planner size and just put it within, mark your holes so you know you're right where you need to be, and just kind of cut it down or trim it down to that, or adjust the printer settings. So this is kind of tricky because there's so much technology out there and not everything is exactly the same. And so you can't exactly print everything the same, which is fine, but it happens to be that way. So I'm going to put these off to the side, but you're going to see, and I'm not going to pull them out for every budget sheet, but this is listing 8.5 by 11. You get the classic and the happy planner size all in one listing. You get to choose the 3 PDF files. You get to choose which PDF file you want to use and print. And if you want to test the other sizes, see if it's interesting for you, it doesn't change the price of what you're purchasing. You're just going to get all of these, and your PDFs will have the Sunday start for this one. So I'm going to put this off to the side. It's a lot of explanation going on here. Now let's go through really able to see, I'm going to move this out of the way, the details on these. I love the sunflowers. I think they're really cute for August. August is usually a pretty hot month, and that's when the sunflowers are the tallest and the biggest and really in season. And I have grown sunflowers before, but oh my goodness, this is like the best time of the year to get them. So yeah, this is the 8.5 by 11. Of course, I have it in the A5 and the classic happy planner size, but variable and fixed expenses. This is the 2-page. This is one listing. Well, no, I take that back. The 2-page and the 1-page are one listing. So what you're going to get is you're going to see the 2 pages, I believe is how I have it first, and then the 1 page. So whichever design you want, you get all 3. And then you get it in the 3 different sizes and 3 different PDFs. So one PDF will have all 3 of these sheets. You pick, do you want the 2-page or do you want the 1-page? And use that for your budget. And the colors, the yellows, is so bright and vibrant and so pretty. I love that. It makes me very happy to look at. And how can you not be happy looking at yellow? So there's that. And then the next one I have is the bills and expenses. So I prefer to use this 2-page one because I just liked listing mine out in the order that it comes out on my calendar when the bills are due. And then this sheet also. So this is a 1-page and then the 2-page. So the 2-page is if you have more than 20 items to list in your budget. Put that over here. So if you have more than 20 items as far as bills and expenses that you're going to put in your budget, you can use the 2-page. It has over 40 lines here. And then this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 income. And then this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 5 income to accommodate 20 lines for the bills. And I'll put that down there so you can see it better. So your bills and expenses, if you don't have that many and you don't need 2 whole pages, you can use this instead. And it's one listing for all 3 pages and you get all 3 sizes. So that's a lot of bang for your buck right there. There's a lot of, wanting to try something new. You have another opportunity to try it. Things like that. I really like that. Next, I have the paycheck to paycheck. I'm just pulling that up. And you get up to 5 paychecks. So paycheck 1 through 5. All the sheets are the same. I'll just start with the first one here. So, sorry, keep fidgeting with these. You have the paycheck, you get 4 income, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It actually has accommodated 21 lines for your bills and expenses. This is the exact same layout as the variable and fixed, or the monthly budget for the budget. And I'll pick those back up real quick. If you look at them, they're pretty much identical. And the reason they're identical is because this is meant for your budget for the month right here. That's why it just says budget on the top. But when you want to break your month down, you can bring it down to do it paycheck to paycheck and give you more detailed physical actual money budgeting that you actually have in your bank account at that time period, to stick with your budget and have that budget done. So yeah, this and this are pretty much the same. I give you one extra income line here, and then for this one's for the month as well. I give you 2 extra lines here for your income for multiple income streams. So if you have taxes, or if you sell something on Facebook Marketplace, or you know, a refund or something like that, you have a place to put it. If you have a side business, if you do Grubhub or one of those delivery things, then you can have a place to put that income. So that's where that is. So this budget sheet and paycheck to paycheck are pretty much the same, but the paycheck ones, you get the title paycheck 1 through 5, which I think helps a lot of people to keep track of what paycheck period they're in. And that's why they like having it titled that way. I like using it this way because I know this is not the monthly budget. I know this is just a paycheck period budget. And you can get up to 5 of these. I only actually have to use 3 for most months. Some months I have 4, but for the most part, I just use 3. And see if I can get these laid out. And there is one more here, paycheck 5. So this is one listing by itself, and you get 5 PDFs in one file, and then you get 3 files, PDF files with the Classic Happy Planner A5 and the 8.5 by 11. So you get all of that, you get a variety, you get to decide which one you want, which one you need the most. And so I really like doing it that way. It helps people just to not have to search and find what they're looking for. It's all right there for you. So paycheck to paycheck is very important. In fact, since I'm only going to use 3, I actually use these sheets. And so when I am done filming, I always put them in my planner, but I don't use all of them. I use the ones I know I'm going to need. Transaction log. So you get 1 sheet, and then you get 3 sizes. So 1 PDF with 3 different files. And it's a transaction log. You can use it for whatever you want to log it for. Do you want it for your sinking funds because you run it like a checking account and you have a lot of little things in there that you apply money to, and when you need it, you can just swipe that debit card, and then you want to create a transaction log for it? Or do you want to run this like a check register? You can do that. It's a transaction log. It's basically what a check register is, and this is very similar to that. If you have something where you go into savings and it goes in multiple times, and then you have to pull it out sometimes multiple times, you can use that as a transaction log for that. I've seen many ways of using a transaction log. Your daily expenses can be here, and then you go back and highlight what your expenses were for the month or the week or however long time period you want this for. And that's what you can use that. I typically use a transaction log for 4 spending categories. Grocery household is for one, restaurants for another one, let's see, miscellaneous, and then gasoline. Those are my 4 transaction logs, and they're identical to this. And I just start with the date, and then I have 0 here, and then I go, okay, this is the amount of the budget, like a deposit, like you're pretending to deposit the cash or put the cash in a cash envelope. This is the description. This is how much the budget is, and then I start with the number of the budget. So like my first one for grocery household would say $300, and then I would subtract with each additional line coming up of every time I had a transaction. I have an accurate number of exactly how much is in my spending category without having to go to my bank account and do all this math. I know I budgeted $300 for it. I know I spent, 1 or 2 transactions, and I still have X amount of dollars based on what this log says. And I do that every time I write down, and I can show you real quick. Every time I spend money, I go to my transaction log and do the math so I have a number in my head on how much money I have left over. So I actually retitle mine grocery, household, restaurants, and I just run it through. I'll just show you one of these. There's my budget amount. I subtracted $19.51. I went to Food Lion, and now I have $284. And then anytime I add more money, I show that I add it, new budget amount, and subtract from there. And I'm down to $186.17. So I know I have enough money to get me through this week in groceries. And I run my log on a weekly basis because I also do weekly check-ins, and this helps me keep track of that. So I love that. And so transaction logs, even though it doesn't have the title like mine has, you can just name it and title it above, write it above here, and just call it whatever you want and use the transaction log however you want. It's very flexible. Love that. My next favorite thing that I learned to do this past year, I've been doing it for several months now, and I really still love it, is the weekly check-in. Again, you get two PDF pages in all three sizes. 8.5 by 11 A5 and Classic Happy Planner. You have a notes page over here. You have 5 weeks. I don't always use 5 weeks. Like this month, I'm running a 4-week for the month of July, I believe. And then I just cross this out. But I also write out how much I have budgeted for each week in my budget, so I know how the numbers are going to run. I know how much I can add to the budget and how much I will be spending, could spend in each of my categories. And I have the 4 categories I showed you before: grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline. And then I do put unbudgeted. So when I do spend unbudgeted amounts, if I start getting a little crazy and the number starts getting high, this is just, kind of a flash error, hey, check this out, make sure this is not, if it's necessary or not necessary. Just, it kind of keeps you in check, going, okay, did I spend too much in unbudgeted that I had out of the buffer my checking account? Or am I really, okay with spending that, or should I rethink it? So that's my 5 categories. Now you can have 4 or 5, there's 5 categories you can use, but you can have totally different categories. However you spend your money, however you call your categories is totally up to you. You don't have to do unbudgeted here. You can just do whatever you want because they're your categories. It is your budget. So, but I do have it broken up into 5 weeks, and you can, write out and map out how you plan to spend it. So I love that. Let's see here. Next I have is sinking funds. And this is a single listing by itself, and the single listing by itself with the 3 sizes. You get all 3 sizes in this listing for one price, which I think is just the easiest way and the best way to do this. You have your categories, your beginning balance, how much you added for the month, how much you took out, and then what your ending balance is. And you can put your totals down here at the bottom, depending on how many sinking funds. I usually only take up this much space, which is perfectly okay. Some people take up a lot of space and they need a lot of lines, and that's perfectly okay. And if this is not enough, you can print 2 of these. Whatever you need to do to make your budget work, that's what I want you to do. And so these sinking funds this sinking fund sheet is, I think, the best way to run a sinking fund. Simple, to the point, and typically most people keep their sinking funds either one of 2 places: cash envelope or savings or checking account. So a bank account or cash envelope, physical cash. Physical cash envelopes are great, and this is a great way of logging that and having it all in one place instead of going through all of them. You just kind of track it here. Or you can put it in a savings account, because I typically don't use my sinking funds but once or twice a month on a busy month. But most months I don't even pull money out, I just put money in. because they're annual expenses. So they're not as frequently as somebody who may be using sinking funds for their kids' clothes as they're growing and they need that cash envelope or they need that cash put aside in an account, and they put $50 a month for kids' clothes or something like that. Because kids' clothes, they're not cheap and they grow fast. So, there's that. I've seen categories such as diapers where they put a little bit every month to be able to buy bulk boxes of diapers. And that's great too. So I love sinking funds. There's so many different ways of using them. It's just a little bit of money put aside every month to take care of regular or irregular expenses throughout the year. So there's that. And then I have savings tracker. I have two different styles of savings tracker. This is the first listing here. So this is just a savings tracker log, just like my sinking funds, as the date beginning, how much you added, how much you took out, and your ending. If you put into savings several times, or you want to track, let's say, cash savings envelopes. If that's something that you do, there's so many styles of saving. You got the nickel challenge, the 52-week challenge, you've got the rainy day challenge, you've got the hot summer challenge, all these challenges out there. But you want to log something, you can write the date, the beginning amount, and maybe the actual challenge you're doing, and then how much you added, and if you had to take anything out. And you can kind of use this as a savings log or tracker that way. Another tracker listing I have, also one listing, 3 sizes. The second savings tracker that I have is in boxes. So if the logs aren't something that you aesthetically like to look at, and a lot of people don't, maybe you only have a handful of savings challenges that you are working with. Maybe the box category would work best for you, where you have a category or your savings challenge, starting balance, how much you added total, the amount taken out, if any, and then what your ending balance is. And this would be a great way to track that on one piece of paper and check on it every so often. So, and these budget sheets were intended not just to buy monthly. If you want to buy new sheets every month, I would absolutely love and encourage you to do that, especially if you get bored like I do. But if you buy it once and use it all year, that's fine too. I mean, they're your budget sheets to use for you. So there's that. And then, let's see where to go. Oh, I had them out of order. The next one is another transaction log, but it's a debt tracker transaction log. So you name your debt, your starting balance, how much you paid on it, any interest charges that came in, and then what the new ending balance is. And this is just a log. If you have several debts, great. If you only have a few, that's fine too. Some people, they have school loans, and their school loans are divided up by semesters. And when you go to college, sometimes you have 20 different school loans. And I didn't realize that until I really got in depth and looking into online my school loan. When I had it, I paid it off October of 2020. And that's when our family became officially consumer debt free. We still have a mortgage, but we are consumer debt free, which is an amazing thing. So we don't have any debt to track. But we do, when I did write out the individual loans of the school loans. There were like 11 of them, plus a credit card, plus car payment, I could go on. And so those things. So a lot of lines means if you have a lot of debt, you can use this to track all that and just look at it every month. The best way to get out of debt is to look at your debt, to look at it and face it down and go, hey, I know I have this. I'm not ashamed that I have this, but I know I don't want to carry it forever. So how do I tackle this and make it something better for me? And the best way to do it is to face it every month, or how often you need to face it, and just start paying that debt down. Now, if there's a way of putting multiple payments on a debt, you can use the debt tracker to do that, or multiple payments of, let's say, like a snowball or whatever, or you're collecting change, or you're collecting, savings, like a savings challenge or whatever. And this is going to be the debt tracker to your credit card, and you're not using your credit card anymore, but you are taking money and putting it aside. Let's say you waitress, or you have leftover money every week out of your groceries, and that's what you're going to use to put your debt snowball and things like that. You can every week come in and write, okay, this is the log of how much money I should have for this debt. And you can write the debt, car loan, credit card, whatever at the top, and then use a cash envelope or put money in the bank and track how much you want to put in by the end of the month or every week, how much you're going to pay on this debt. So these sheets are so flexible to work with on any way that you want it. I love them. I use them. I use the debt tracker, and it was easy to use, and it definitely kept me focused, and I love seeing the numbers go down and keep me moving every month. So that's what this debt tracker's for. I don't have to use it, but I do love this for others who do need it. I do have another debt tracker. This is a debt snowball tracker, and it's just the same as the savings one. It's got 8 boxes here. You write your debt, your starting balance, your minimum payment on your debt. So let's say you have a credit card with $25 that you have to pay at a minimum every month, and the starting balance is like $1,000, so $25 minimum payment. And let's say you put $75 on there, so you paid $50 more than the amount. So minimum payment, $50, $25, amount paid, the $50, so the 2 of those, any interest charges, and then the balance. So that there you can use to, pay down your debt, create the snowball for a specific debt. You can do your school loans this way. You can print as many of these you want. You can also put, instead of just the $50 separating the 25 and 50, you don't have to do the minimum. You just put the whole amount there. But if you're only paying minimum, that's fine. You can put 0 and then put $75 here if that's what you can do whatever you want. There's just so many ways to write it. You can't make one budget sheet perfect for everybody, but I think this came pretty close to what a lot of people were looking for, and people seem to like it, and it works for them. So I love that. So that's the debt snowball tracker. So you can track the debts specifically. You can print as many of these pages as you want for yourself on the different debts that you have, and go from there. And I might, if I ever start doing a aggressive mortgage payoff, I would probably use something like this. And I might do something a little bit different and say mortgage payoff at the top. But I haven't quite come up with a budget sheet like that. But if you're interested, or if that's something you're looking for, let me know and I'll start working on that. So last but not least of the budget sheets is my favorite and keeps me in check with my credit card. Now, I did go through Financial Peace University, which is Dave Ramsey's program that he created, completely against credit cards. My problem and issue with that is our world doesn't work that way. And to keep me in balance with what I desire for the future, which is we plan to sell the home that we're in if God decides to move us and put us somewhere else. So if we are, we're going to need a credit score that reflects positive credit rating. And the way to do that is to have your credit cards or, whatever loans you're working with, and keep them in good standing. I put things on my credit card and then I pay it off every month. But this is how I keep from spending more than what the available credit is and what only I am budgeting for the month. I have to have cash to pay it off, and the cash has to be in the checking account. So again, I'll pull my notebook up one more time and show this that I'm using this month. And this is how I use it here. So I have my available credit as my first line. That's just what I put right there. And then I have money come out. So this is what came out. This is what I owe. That was the new available credit, and so on and so forth. So you get down here, and then here's the new credit, but here's the new balance that I owe. I know how much max I can put on the credit card every month, and how much my buffer my checking account, and how much I budgeted for the credit card every month. Highlighted in yellow are subscriptions that my husband and I had already decided, yes, we wanted to go on the credit card. You're going to see, like, my husband wanted to purchase something here. He put it on the credit card for the internet purchase because his cash was in our savings account. and then I'm going to pay it from the savings account later. So I just said put on the credit card, I'll pay it later. It's cash we already have. I have the cash ready. At the end of the month when I go pay the credit card, the cash is already sitting there ready to pay it. Then my husband decided he wanted to pay for his vehicle tags. It's that little sticker that goes in the corner of your license plate, and he paid for it for 3 years. So he's good till 2024, I think, or something like that. And that was the total for 3 years. So I just put on a credit card and I'll pay it at the end of the month. And but I don't say it very often, and we don't do it very often. My iTunes is connected to my credit card log, so I have to keep in mind when I do that, save some of my what I call miscellaneous money. As long as I save at least this amount, then that will go from the cash I have available to the credit card. It just makes you think, and I love that. So this is the one for August, and I love it. Next I have, and the last things that I have are cash envelopes. So I won't cut these up or anything like that, but I have downloadable printable cash envelopes. And here is the sunflower designs. Now I leave a gray outline on the outline of these because there's enough white area that it would be hard to cut without. So I leave that gray and you just cut within the gray, and that should be the right size for the cash envelope. I'm trying to see if I have some of them nearby though. I don't think I do. Anyways, these are very simple to use. You just cut the outline, you fold it here and fold it under, and then fold the flaps. Or if you want to cut off the top flap and you don't want to use that to fold over, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. It's your cash envelope. You have a place to write whatever the cash is meant for. I've actually cut off the top and laminated it with a regular laminating machine. I use 28-pound bright white paper when I print. And I have one of those envelopes. And forgive my squeaky chair. So this is the emergency cash for the house. And I printed this and I have cash in it. This is how big it would be. As you can see, it fits right in there. That's what you're looking at right there. And then that's the reverse side back here. It'd be like right here. And the flaps are folded for me on the inside. I have them on the inside here. But you can put the flips on the inside, outside, whatever you want to do. And you can laminate it if you have a laminating machine if you'd like, or you can just use the paper. And now I really want to find the paper. Okay, I am back. So I found my 4th of July ones here. And for the month of July, I'm going to move this to the side. There we go. So, and I demonstrated with a couple of these as soon as I get them sorted out. So when I fold them, this is what it is, paper. You can just use it as paper by itself. And I just have the flaps here, and I glue this down with glue or a tape runner or something like that. You could take these and flip them this way and glue it that way if that's what you want, whatever you want to do. They're your cash envelopes. And so if you just leave it paper like this, now if you laminate it and you laminate this part, it won't fold because the lamination is not as flexible. But if you cut this top part off, you can just make a simple cash envelope like this. So, and here it is all laid out like that when you cut it. And you just fold, fold, and fold. And so there's that. So now to get to the rest of the patterns. The sunflowers, this is the main pattern for the month that I use with the little specks of blue flowers. I just thought it just draws my eye every time I look at it, and I love it. Yellow is not necessarily my favorite color, but this with the blue tied into it just made me really happy, so I loved it. Now I love this because it's all blue and with the pops of yellow, and that is just really, really cute. Then you have just the green and yellow, and this is like very plant green and, you know, almost realistic looking to me. And I just thought that was really, really nice. And this one's actually my favorite. I kind of wished I made this the main pattern for the month, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because it's kind of sparse in color. But that was really, really cool. I love the curly cues of the grass and the daisies and the sunflowers and the blues and the almost a grayish purple right there with the sprigs and stuff. I don't know. I thought that was really cool. I love it. Let's see here. Then I have a solid yellow. Now this is all one listing for cash envelopes. You get 2 files, 1 file with 4 PDFs and 1 file with 5 PDFs. And I'll show you why in a second. So you get cash envelopes. This is yellow and it's beautiful. And then I have a green one here. I believe similar design, but not exactly the same. And the layout's a little bit different. And then you get, with every download of cash envelopes, you get 1 PDF like this. And these are your cutout trackers for your cash envelopes, another PDF like this, and then 6 cash teller slips. And you print as many of these as you want and use them as often as you need. So that is the entire new collection for August. Budget sheets and printables and cash envelopes and all of that. So we'll go ahead and get these organized and we will finish this video. So I'll be right back. So here's some of the budget sheets and some of the cash, all the cash envelopes and things like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see some more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I do budget videos, I do faith videos, where I do scripture writing and journaling prompts. And then I do, what else do? Budget, scripts. Oh, and I'm starting to do Plan With Me's, where I use my A5 agenda life planner as well as my hourly life planner, and you know, just keep track of my life and show you how I create stickers to budget for those. So I don't show you how to create the stickers, but I show you the stickers I created for myself, I guess I should say. So I hope you did enjoy this, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.